Jack, what brought you to Grand Lake Stream?
My grandmother and my grandfather, John Bacon and Lil Bacon, and that was my grandmother and grandfather on my mother's side, and through them, my grandmother, of course, worked at the Birches for years and worked in the camps here for years, and she did such things for me, even though I was in Woodland just about that high. But she'd save turtle eggs that she'd get off the sandbank up to the Birches and bring them down in a coffee can to let them, get big enough to get out of the can. They never ever did get out of the can because my mother, when Grammy left, Mama dumped them out. And I never saw a turtle out of them, damn one of them. And Ma never knew that till the day she died. But anyway, that's part of the things with my grandmother. She was a full-fledged old lady, hard-working, and she had 5 kids, and some of them are gone now, but for the most part, most of them are still just carrying on, just like me, and for whatever it might amount to, in 10 more days, I'll be 86. And I feel like $1,000,000. I quit smoking, drinking, and everything, except eating. But anyway, I feel great. I feel like I do. I work every day. Good time all the time, you know. Yep. Kids, way back when I was just about 10 or 15 years old, Billy Sprague, all of the Yates kids and all this that was big enough to walk, to give ourselves something to enjoy, we used to cut switches, pretty good sized switches at apple ripen time, and stick an apple on the end of them switches and kill the cherry peckers that was setting out the damn railing up there. I don't know how many we killed, but we got caught at it anyway. And I thought we were all going to go to prison, but we didn't. But anyway, it was things like that. And we tied ropes on the damn railing. You couldn't dive off the dam, you'd kill yourself. But we used to tie ropes on the railing and then go down and swim out and get a hold of the rope and let it get you down into the whitewater, and then you could just drift on the whitewater, headed down toward the bridge, you know. And it was little things like that I remembered I will forever, I guess. And, well, Billy, of course, we had Labor Day down to Woodland. That was a big special thing, you know, Labor Day. And Billy and Earl and all the Sprague kids would come down and stay with my grandmother or my mother and father and stay there for 3 or 4 days during carnival time. And I probably shouldn't, but is Billy Sprague coming?
Kenny's coming.
Huh?
Kenny Sprague's coming.
Well, Kenny, Billy is is the one that I was going to single out if I dared to, is during the carnival time down to Woodland one time, Billy was staying with me down to Woodland, and my mother and father. And we was down, walking down over what we call Black's Hill in Woodland, and to go up to the fairground. So we, just walking along, just talking, and Finally, he said to me, he says, "What's that faucet on that tree for?" I said, "That's where the carnival people water their animals, the horses and cows and whatever else they got with them." He said, "You're kidding." I said, "No." He says, "Can you drink it?" And I said, "I wouldn't. It's coming right out of the river right over here, you know." And he says, "Oh, Jesus." Then he says, "Oh, I'll tell you something." He went over, and this is the gospel, God's honest truth. He tried to pee up that faucet, and he peed right in his own face. And I've laughed over 10 years over that. And I told everybody that I come to, you know. And that is the truth. And I was hoping that he might show up so I could razz him again. But anyway, that's probably the dirtiest story I can tell.
What about guiding? You're a guide.
Oh, I guided till I was old enough to, I guided when I was old enough to get a license, which I did. And I got all of that stuff at home. I kept it. And I guided, out of Princeton, Grand Lake mostly, but Princeton and some down at the mill. Some of the boys down at the mill knew that I was a registered guide. And so people that were coming in, salesmen and stuff like that at the mill, on occasion, they'd call me and ask me if I could take them fishing, you know, and I could. And usually at the club down the Woodland right there in front of the mill, there was the clubhouse where they had suppers and meals, and then they used to pack my lunches up, and man, what a lunch that I got from them. But I got people from everywhere, you know, and I got so I loved it. I did. Now I'm just too damn, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Too much.